Whatever you have, serve that. Do the best with what you have. Don't wait for the right time, make the time right. Serve in every facet of your life. Serve in your talents. Serve in your gifting. Serve in your position where you are placed. Serve in those that are entrusted unto you. So good leadership is based on adding value to others. So we think Law of Addition is just adding followers, just adding people to your staff. No, it's also based on adding value to others. To step back at the end of the day and say, wow, look what I've added to somebody else today. And then to stand back a little bit later and to look at the fruit of your addition in that person's life. And there's nothing more satisfying for a leader to see his or her followers achieving greatness. And don't be threatened when those that you are leading or have led in the past outgrow you or go past the position where you are currently or achieve greater heights than you. Don't feel threatened. Have the joy in your life that you could have been part of that journey. Something you have added into that person's life is making that person achieve greatness. So the leader's ability to add values begins with the heart of the leader. It begins with us. You must be secure. You must have the knowledge, or the skills, the competencies. You must have the character to deposit. Because when we are adding to other people's lives, we don't just add the good. We add the total picture. So make sure that your character is in line. Other words, you will also add your weaknesses or your blind spots into that person's life. A leader who desires to add value to others will endeavor to improve his own leadership skills. We have to give them something that they aspire to. We must add value to them. We must add things to their life that they don't have and that they want. So as we add these things to their lives, they shall grow, they shall prosper, they shall bloom under our leadership. And this is all about addition, all about adding value to people. And then that will result in value-added followers. Then we shall see the growth in the followers following us. So a selfish leader is a leader that focused just upon himself. Me, myself, and I, the devil's trinity. But as a servant leader, you are motivated by love for people as you serve them. I'm talking about the caring for people. I'm talking about that thing inside of you, that flame that keeps on burning to see others excel. I'm talking about that thing. So a servant leader possesses a security that allows them to serve others and not to gain from them, not to subtract from them, but to add to them. We are not subtractors, we are adders. We add new things to them. We add opportunities to them. We add situations to them. We add value to them. We add skills to them. We add character to them. And then they shall excel. But only a secure servant leader will do this. And sad to say, when we talk about so many people, talk to people, you will find how many selfish leaders there are, just for themselves. And one way of hearing a selfish leader talking, they will constantly say, because I am the leader, you shall follow. People then follow you based upon your title and your position. And according to the 5 levels of leadership, that's the lowest form of leadership. That's the entry point to leadership. So servant leaders will always initiate serving. They will not be scared to serve. They will not be scared to pick up something and do something. They will never wait for others to do things. They will initiate relationship. They will initiate training. They will initiate the transfer of skills. They will initiate training opportunities for others. They will always be on the forefront, doing things, starting things. They will initiate mentorship. They will initiate whatever needs to happen in the organization. So servant leaders receive servant leadership from others. In other words, permission is granted by others to lead them. And people will only grant you permission to lead them if they trust you. How many times have you heard me saying in the past few weeks about trust and respect? It's something that others want to see in you, and once they've seen that in you, they will give you permission to lead them. So servant leaders teach servanthood by example. People see and they do. They don't just listen and do. Listening and doing, yes, that's part of it. And it's good. But seeing, learning, and do is much more powerful than words. The example we set for others creates a passion, creates an enthusiasm in the hearts of those that we are leading to be the same. So if you want change in your leadership, if you want to see an attitude change, add value, add respect, add trust to what you are teaching and training. But that requires a lot of time. So a selfish leader do not share the following things. A selfish leader are not generous with their knowledge. They are not generous with their time, their support and resources. They are not generous in general. That is a selfish leader. But a servant leader that walks in security will share his knowledge, will share his time, will share his resources, will provide support. They will become the safety net to catch others that they are leading. A selfish leader do not share their position or the material positions with others. It's mine. I've worked for it. I've earned it. I've sacrificed for it. Why must your followers struggle the same way as you've struggled? How many times have we heard people saying, yeah, but I've had worked hard for this. I can't just give it away. Give it away. Whatever you deposit, whatever you add into somebody else's life, it will never leave your life. It will leave your hands, it will leave your mind for a moment. But you are sowing a harvest for the future. It will never, ever leave your life. Remember that principle. Leaving your situation as you pass it on, as you add it to somebody else, you are paying it forward. So in the future, what you've added into others will be waiting for you to walk into. How many times have we heard people preaching on giving, sowing, reaping? Same principle applies here. It will always bear fruit. It might take a long time. It might take years before benefiting. I remember when I started with leadership empowerment, leadership training in 2002, I think, or 2003. In the beginning, I was excited, and the more I empower, the more excited I become. And then I realized, my goodness, I am adding value to others just for them to leave after I've added to them. I've never experienced, not never, but more often than not, I could not harvest my addition, my value-adding addition to their lives. They left and joined other places, other ministries, other organizations, but they've left my life. Or this is what I assumed. But what happened? It's like taking a match, lighting it, and light another match. The fact that you have shared your light with another match doesn't make your light less bright. It just duplicated your light. So the moment we add value to other people, we are duplicating ourselves in other people into other situations where we might never have been or could be. And then as you look back, and this is what's happening now in my life. After 20 odd years training more than 24,000 people with leadership material, there are small matches all across the world being lit through training, being lit through adding value to them. I want to encourage you this morning. Don't stop lighting fires. Don't stop adding value to others. Number one, we're not supposed to add value so that we can benefit. I had to learn that thing on the hard way. We are adding values for the benefit of others, not just for myself. The time will come that you shall benefit from what others has added in other people's lives, and they shall join to be part of you. So, a selfish leader, they will always think on how to get more things for them and not for you. How can I gather? How can I hoard things for myself instead of being a reservoir, but to become a conduit for others? So whatever comes in here must be sent out. And the more you send out, the more you make room for your dam to receive. It will never run dry. There will always be an influx of information, influx of people, influx of new ideas, influx of so many things. And the more you give up, the more room you make, and the more you are duplicating yourself in the lives of others. And now I want to give you a few things this morning on how to identify a selfish leader. They do not care about relationships. Leadership is relationship. That is the foundation on what leadership is built upon. They promise and never deliver. Don't promise a thing if you can't deliver. I've raised my children and I've taught everybody that I'm mentoring. Never promise something that you know or you might wonder, will I be able to deliver? So I would rather not promise, I just deliver. Don't say I promise you if you can't keep it. A selfish leader never shares. They become professional leadership hoarders. They have all the information here on their laptops, on their computers, but they never empower others. If we want to bring it to the church world, they never start to disciple others. They become spiritual obese. They don't practice what that has been invested in them. They act cowardly. They lack the courage to face and to rectify the negative consequences of their actions. Be too quick to repent, but fix it. The only person that has never made a mistake is somebody that has done nothing in life. As a leader, you walk in front, you see first, you do first, you serve first. Because you're the first means you will make mistakes. But because of the fact that people trust you and respect you, they shall provide the room for you to make a mistake. They shall provide for you forgiveness if you repent. You will not become a lesser leader if you can acknowledge you've made a mistake. I know many people say, no, a leader must never acknowledge the mistake, just fix it. I'm of a different opinion. If you made a mistake, be first to repent. We expect that of our followers. Why can't we set the example for them? A selfish leader go around the bush. They will never give you a straight answer. They will always try to use nice words without the truth. They will tell you the things you want to hear and not necessarily what you have to hear. A selfish leader, they do not commit to anything. They have that attitude of, what's in for me? What can I get out of serving you? There must be something for me. So here are the 4 guidelines for adding value to others. We add value to others when we truly value them. If I truly value them, I will add. I will give. I will not just give what I have. I will even give beyond my means so that they can be empowered. We add value to others when we make ourselves more valuable for them. Be that thing, that person that they want. We add value to others when we know and relate to what others value. If we know people, relationship. If we know people, we know what values they have. You know what to add to their life. And the 4th point on adding value to others. We add value to others when we value what God values. We cannot separate God from leading. We cannot separate God from servanthood, because He's the ultimate example to follow. Jesus came to earth to add. He came to earth to sacrifice Himself. He came to earth to duplicate. He came to earth so that others can have what He has. So if you want to be a good leader, follow that example. The goal of every leader should be to become the best possible leader in order to add the greatest value to the people we lead. That must be our focus. What is the best I can add to other people so that they can become the best who they are supposed to be? And this is the law of addition. The second law for today, the law of solid ground. The law of solid ground is all about trust. It's all about leaders. A leader cannot repeatedly break their employees' trust and still hope to influence them. Yes, I've said in the previous session, be the first to repent of your mistakes. But remember, a mistake is only a mistake the first time. The second time is your choice. And the more you repeat the same things that are incorrect, the less people will allow you to influence them. They will forgive you the first time, the second time, and from the third time they wonder, do I need to be here? Trust is the glue that holds any organization together. That is the thing that we must work on. We spend so much time on leadership principles that we must trust. We must respect. So, as I've said in the previous session, my character gets transferred to others without saying one word. People know who you are. Even if you think they don't know, they do know. Character communicates consistency. I'm the same to yesterday, today, and forever. This is one thing that I really work hard on. To be the same, or try to be the same. Yes, I'm not always the same, but I try. I try to be the same. How you see me today, hopefully you'll see me tomorrow. And if I'm not the same tomorrow than today, I will repent. Character communicates potential. Are you trustworthy? Are you able? Character communicates respect. If you respect others, it will tell me about your character. So what are the signposts of erosion of your leadership? You fail to address character weaknesses. Try to justify it. It's interesting that we judge others based upon their character flaws. And we take our character flaws and we justify it. This is not what I meant. I try to do this. Why then can't we give the same benefit to those that we are leading? If you are busy eroding your character, your leadership, you will use deception to safeguard yourself. You will tell yourself lies every time. You believe it, you hope others believe it as well. But unfortunately, self-deception does not work on other people. They see you for who you are. Doesn't matter what you are saying. Solid ground. If you want to stand on solid ground, don't act impulsively. Do research. Find the best solutions. Find counsel. Speak to people who has been there before. Speak to them. Ask advice. There's always somebody that has walked the road that you need to walk. But we want to sit and say, I know it all. I don't need anybody's input, which is pride. Abusing and misusing your talents, your skills, your competencies for your own benefit. That will erode your solid ground. You will stand on solid ground today, but when you abuse and misuse your staff, your talents, your skills, your competencies, that solid ground that you're standing on will be eroded from deep under. You won't see it on the surface, and then suddenly, one day, the surface will just crack and open up and swallow you. No more to be seen. On solid ground, you have to overcome your weaknesses. You have to change your life. When a leader loses his teachability, they learn to lean on their own strength and understanding. And that is a very dangerous place to be, because your own strength, your own understanding is not necessarily the best way of doing it or the most reliable way of understanding. Then they start to react instead of leading. And you know what happens to reactors. Yes, they can generate electricity, but they can also explode and contaminate their whole environment. All your hard work being contaminated because you are no longer leading. And if you lose your teachability, it means you're actually defeated. I can no longer be taught. I am powerless if I sit with a non-teachable attitude. And they fail to learn from their mistakes. I'm nearly done, just 1 or 2 minutes, then I'm done. How do I learn from my mistakes? I must be big enough to admit my mistakes. Enough said on this one. I must be smart enough to provide or to profit from my mistakes. In other words, learn. Learn from your mistakes. Don't blame others if you've made a mistake. Even if others had an influence in the causing of your mistake. Remember, they are not the authors of your life. Not everybody that has an opinion will have an influence in my life. I choose the right input in my life. And a leader that learns from his mistakes will learn to correct their mistakes and not to repeat it. And if I fail to learn from my mistakes, I will always take you farther than you ought to go. Your mistakes will take you more away from the purpose. But if you acknowledge your mistake, you go out, you come back, you've learned. If you don't want to learn from your mistake, it will take you away and missing purpose. It will always take you longer than you ought to stay. Because I don't want to learn. And the longer I don't want to learn, the longer I'm postponing my graduation from the school of hard knocks. And if you do not want to acknowledge your mistake, it will cost you more eventually. Rather sacrifice your image now than to be humiliated in the future. All of the laws that we discuss, and the laws of this morning, especially the law of leadership, of solid ground, of all of them, this one, I think, is of vital importance to provide a solid platform for those whom you are leading to be the stepping stone, the springboard that will elevate them into a new dimension in a new season. Violation of this law will often cause the most damage to a person's leadership. Because where I'm supposed to be the solid ground, the one that they rely upon, that they trust, that they come back to, if I fail here, they will fall in the same hole where I have fell into. Trust, as I've said, is the glue that holds every organization together. No trust, no influence, no leadership, no journey. As simple as that. Thank you for joining this morning, and please, I'm repeating again myself, you can use this material for training, download it, share it. I also have all these videos on my YouTube channel as well. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to it, use it, train your people. And if you want me to train them, contact me. I'm willing to travel wherever. I've traveled to 22 countries in the past 22 years doing leadership training. Please contact me. We can work out something, how I can add value to you, your leadership, and your organization. Thank you for tuning in this morning. See you next week.